Trump, you better watch your back, because if history really does repeat itself, that means your life is in serious danger, like right now. Learn from the past. Did you know that the first time they tried to kill JFK, it was not in Dallas? It was actually planned for Chicago. Kennedy was due to arrive there in Chicago on November 2nd, 1963. The newspapers conveniently printed JFK's motorcade route, just like they did in Dallas. A hit team was assembled that included a pair of Cuban nationals and this guy, Arthur Thomas Valley, who perfectly fit the lone nut profile that would later be used to characterize Lee Harvey Oswald. Both of these guys, former Marines with links to anti-Castro Cubans, they both have three names: Thomas Arthur Valley, Lee Harvey Oswald. Hell, they even look alike. The similarities are striking. Thomas Arthur Valley was also a sharpshooter who worked in an office building overlooking the motorcade route in Chicago, just like Lee Harvey Oswald in Daley Plaza. Now, the plot began to unravel when a woman called the U.S. Secret Service office a day before JFK's scheduled visit to Chicago. Now, she was a hotel manager, and she grew suspicious of two Cuban nationals that were staying there. She waited until they were not in the room, and then she unlocked the door, went inside, took a look around, and she was alarmed to find 4 high-powered rifles along with a newspaper outlining the route of JFK's motorcade in Chicago. Wow. So the Secret Service immediately put these guys under surveillance, but they got a little too close because one of the suspects heard the radio dispatch from the surveillance vehicle. They panicked, and then they packed up their gear and fled the scene. By this time, the Secret Service was also looking for Arthur Thomas Valley. They called the Chicago Police Department, and they told him, get Valley off the streets. 2 hours before JFK's planned motorcade, the Chicago police indeed located Arthur Thomas Valley. They pulled him over. They looked in the trunk of his car and found an M1 rifle and 3,000 rounds of ammunition. They figured he was probably on his way to the office building where he worked, overlooking the motorcade route. And that's when JFK abruptly canceled his trip to Chicago, as crowds of people were already lining the streets to watch the motorcade. So it was a close call. And there's also compelling evidence that there was another assassination team ready to strike later that same month in Tampa, Florida. But it was called off last minute by mob boss Santo Trafficante. It was almost like it was a competition to see who would kill JFK first. 3 attempts in 1 month. And as we all know, they eventually got him on November 22nd in Dallas, Texas. So please, President Trump, for the love of God, please be careful. America needs you now more than ever. I'm also asking our audience to please pray for Donald Trump and his safety. Because if we've learned anything from history and the dark forces who carry out these assassinations, if at first they don't succeed, they will try again. Watch your back.